navigate challenges, interact effectively with the world, and turn their unique way of thinking into their greatest strength. I've attended a lot of lectures, talks. I was on the run this year, at least, thankfully, ran for dyslexia. I've talked to a lot of people about this, attended the Global Summit by Rotary Club of Disability. And I think I can effectively now say that I also have a way of defining or directing life skills in my way of life. And Nemo Africa does this, where we try to get a child to feel the most natural about themselves when they do things that are outside the classroom that are very essential to their learning. And the world defines life skills as soft skills for employment, as we all know. You graduate, you make up your CV. Your very first CV has a short paragraph explaining life skills that define you. You know, I have good communication skills. I have interpersonal skills. Sometimes you don't even know what those mean, but because, you know, it's the template that you'll follow. But at Nemo, define them as essential survival and thriving tools, you know. And in this case, they'll be for neurodiverse minds, like in dyslexia. There's a lot of learning differences that even I myself, for 30 years, I'm over 30 now, I did not know about, did not even have a clue. And for 7 years, I worked in the education department in a different place, and another 4 years in even a different country, and in many countries in this continent, I have visited and taught as a visiting lecturer. Sometimes I'll be training children ministry workers, but we don't. I would say we don't know if the disability is not visible physically, then it's not something you can define. And I'm afraid I'm supposed to have a testimony of myself, because in my family, my brother, who's 44 years old, is dyslexic, but I've only discovered this right now. It's sad, very sad. If I hadn't met Cowdens, I don't think I would ever known there's anything that anybody or everyone, if anyone in my family would have known, would have done about it. But so these life skills that we're talking about, for me personally, and ultimately for Nemo, are not supposed to be viewed as extracurricular for children with neurodiverse minds, even anybody else, literally, because we just follow curriculum through them, and then you get out, you're supposed to graduate, you're supposed to find a job, and then that's it. We have a lot of graduates that are in the streets right now. They don't have a job. It's been the story of my life. Madam, can I do this? Madam, can I do that? And I'm thinking there's a gap, which I'm also a product of. There's a gap because I've been there too. Grew up in the same continent as everybody else probably that's listening to me. And so we are developing a language through life skills, a language through which dyslexic children can first understand their power. And then after that, they'll be able to learn anything, you know, including reading, because I, of course, assumed that everybody knows what dyslexia is by definition, you know, my bad. But having a learning difficulty, not being able to comprehend words, you know, sometimes counting, that's a learning difficulty that sometimes, not just sometimes, a lot of times people are just called slow learners. You just, a word that I hear a lot in Tanzania, huyo ni mzito, and things like that. If we apply life skills in the lives of these students, develop this language, allow them to learn and understand their power, then they'll be able to learn anything, because they'll follow that model, you know, and they will begin a journey of discovering, you know, what they can be able to do. And people that are also helping them, be it teachers, be it parents, will not take it as a measure of deficit, or, you know, like in inadequacy in their children. So the definition of this is basically what makes up what we do at Nemo, especially through the Nemo clubs. Okay, so we're saying that the essential foundation of dyslexia is life skills, and this is what they do. They build confidence to try in a child. They will attempt something that was difficult for them, something that nobody realizes is difficult for them. After now, you've been able to show them through practical ways, through life skills, building character and everything, they'll be able to have the confidence to try, the self-awareness to know how they learn best, and the practical ability to manage their daily tasks. That's why we do life skills. So how does Nemo Africa now do this? Because like I said before, we have all these other programs. Our flagship program is the Nemo Clubs, which I think is now more popular than Nemo Africa itself, the mother organization, because it's hitting the nail on the head, even more than if I share the mission of Nemo Africa, a lot of you would say, let's change it to just the Nemo Club mission. But things happen. You start something and it gives birth to something that's even more impactful. So we are achieving or driving inclusive education through what we call the Nemo Clubs. And these are after school hubs where learning differences are celebrated. We are providing opportunities for gifted children to showcase and also grow their talent. Okay, and when I talk about these learning differences, like I said, 5 years ago, I had no idea why so many students in the area I was operating were failing standard 7. And I was working with secondary schools, and I was awarding scholarships, like I said before. And it is just didn't sound like it. It is like just going to an airport and award and then giving people tickets, plane tickets to travel. They're already there. But what about the person that hasn't gotten there because they didn't get anybody to work with them, to show them, to even share their dream, I want to travel. So Nemo Africa is there to do that. Through Nemo Clubs, we do the first one, which is to have a safe place where students can come and learn and do things, explore. I'll share some of the projects that we have. And then we also look for other opportunities. Like today, I'm here talking about dyslexia. And I know very soon, it is one of my goals to at least have Cordens or somebody come and talk about dyslexia to the parents of the kids I work, to the teachers, because sometimes, and not just sometimes, all the times we think we know what we're doing. It's your career, you're in it, you're doing it, and then you just don't know there's a whole world that the world. I mentioned that I worked in a place where more than 50% of students failed exams, standard 7, and it's a public school. And I'm only using one as an example. Award level school, D's 50+%. And I started to do research to find out what is the problem. I even started to break a few rules in my scholarship program to try and lift this school so that it can produce, a few students, so I can go back and prove to my employers that if you work with students, they will pass. And I was looking for students with disabilities, physical, something you can see, which they don't exist in certain schools because the facilities do not accommodate that. And typical, you probably all know a typical preschool class, which is 1 or 2 in the normal government schools, will have like 150 students in that particular school. And there will be one student who has Down syndrome that, comes by sometimes, being in the same classroom for like 3 years. I still wanted to know what is happening. And then I attended the launch of Dyslexia Tanzania, and I was like, whoa, yeah, 20% of the population. And 80% of every learning difference is people that are dyslexic. And then I went back into my own life and realized, no, this is urgent. This is important. We need to run fast and act fast. So that's how Nemo Africa comes to be and Nemo Clubs come in. So we look for people, and through those people, through other organizations, we build up our students. We give them another platform to grow, even that which we cannot provide as Nemo Africa. So Nemo clubs are safe, supportive hubs where children can learn through project-based activities, collaborative games, real-life tasks, mentorship, and peer support. And we do this right now. We do this by going to a normal school, any school that we've been registered to work with within the Longido and the Arumeru district. Of course, we started small. We did not want to spread the impact too much, too thin, so that it wasn't felt. But when we go to the school and introduce our programs, the Nemo Club is special. It is student-led. The students have to identify what programs they want running in their lives, based on what they've grown seeing. We don't introduce things that are not comfortable for the student, or for a lot of times, something they're used to in their environment. So our current programs, which again, like I said, are student-led, I cannot emphasize that more, is advanced gardening programs. We have a tree planting program, sports program, and a talent development program. And then we have class debates. I'll explain each one of them, and hopefully we'll find ways in which we can adapt these or similar life skill programs in schools, at home, in communities, so that we can reach every student, every one of them. And by this, I cannot emphasize enough, it's inclusive education. It doesn't mean just those that have learning difficulties, because again, we are still far behind in testing, evaluating to tell what exactly. And so for Nemo, anybody that wants to join the Nemo Club is welcome. But we make it inclusive so that even the student that does not fare well in class will be able to learn, will be able to enjoy the process. So our advanced gardening program, I have just mentioned a few life skills that we learn, in the end, what is our end goal? But there's a lot of them. For gardening, we are looking to make sure that our students, of course, are independent. And this is not in order of events, but we are teaching them to know that in this life, career guidance sometimes, you're asked when you grow up, what do you want to be? And then you say, I want to be a pilot. And 30+ years, like me, I'm still seated here and I cannot visit a hospital without feeling like I'm going to faint, but I wanted to be a doctor. So what am I talking about? The independence I'm talking about here is where we are thinking of a child being able to do something later in life to sustain themselves, whether they became that pilot, that doctor, or whoever. Whether they were able to discover something major, they can grow their own food. They don't have to depend on anybody forever. Also, they can also be able to work with their hands right now. Independence for right now. There's teamwork. Because we work with schools, of course, we try to teach students that we need one another. So you work together as a team. The first thing they do is they select a team of leaders for themselves. There's a project manager who runs the gardening program, and there's an accountant who's supposed to account for the money, because yes, we sell. We're talking about financial freedom here. We're talking about independence later. So we teach them these programs. We teach them these skills. Through the gardening program, we are employing the STEP program, the Student Training on Entrepreneurial Program, promotion. Like I said, again, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We are trying to, find as many people, organizations to complement us. I went through the STEP program, and so it's the first thing that I think every time I see a child, including my own children, teach them how to be entrepreneurial. So we give them some seed money, and the goal is for them to decide everything. We are there to guide them. They choose the seeds they want to grow, the kind of vegetables they want to grow based on how they're going to sell them or use them eventually. If it's for the school feeding program, well and good. But they have to somehow make the money, make profit, be able to reinvest back. So financial management comes in our gardening program. It is covering a lot of, it's an umbrella of so many skills that eventually a child learns. They are not in the program for just 1 year. it's continuing. If they're in standard 7, then well and good if they're out of the school, but the rest of them, they will continue to learn every year, every term. They are learning new things. So if they fail at Chinese vegetable, the cabbage thing looking like thing, tomorrow they're allowed to try a spinach. The day after that is the 12 letters, like the ones that you're seeing here. Because sometimes they'll choose something, they'll pick very expensive seeds, hybrids and stuff, and they're not able to make the money. They learn from it. So we allow them to be able to make these decisions for themselves. The tree planting program. This is one of the goals of NEMO Africa as a whole, as an organization. But NEMO Club students have chosen it as a program for themselves in Longido, and we're also doing the same here for Arumeru. We're starting our seedling bed. And it's a global responsibility for everybody. So this works even better for us. The goal here is for us to teach them stewardship. Through this program, again, like I said, we are just using the basic things that they choose. I mentioned STEP. Now I'll mention Kids Hubs, another program that I've been part of and established projects in Nairobi of having students, wherever you find the non students, I'll use the word children mostly because they're the ones that are at home, whether they're in school, in the church, in the mosque, in the community. Bottom line, they're a child. Kids Hubs would teach kids again to come up with projects for themselves, gardening, filmmaking, whatever, but the parents or the nurturers, as we call them, guide them through them and find lessons to learn. So our lessons here are stewardship, responsibility, and patience. So this program again allows for a student or a child to take a plant home, a tree, grow it there, take care of it every day, put water, put whatever is needed, shed it if they have goats or animals that would, eat the leaves of or cut or destroy the plant. But then also we want ultimately to have a student be able to come back and say, these are the plants, the trees that I planted in my school or in my community or in my home that I lived as a renter or wherever. So this program also is something that is future forward. We're giving back, we're taking care of the environment and learning as we do it. There are more skills that we learn here, especially for a student or a child that is dyslexic. Patience. Personally, I don't have much experience with dyslexic students or children for long. I have only been privileged to work with them within a span of 6 months. But one thing I have noticed is that for dyslexic students and anybody else, all the children of this world, patience is key. Learning to be patient, learning to delay a gratification is key so that we can tap into their potential, their strengths, so they can see the big picture. We call it big picture reasoning. To plant a seed, to water it every day, to wait until a few sprouts come, and then the teacher or the person that is helping you, the mentor comes and says, now pluck this one because it's taking the nutrients out of that. That really, they're like, no, but it took me so long to do this. Or they almost gave up. That's where parents have to be very specific. This is for both of us, the child and the parent or the teacher, to learn to be patient so they can teach the child to be patient. Other thing is visual spatial learning. Another thing that is specific to dyslexic students. Seeing the big picture, like I said, you were just talking about a plant or a tree that we are growing, as the school said, because when they're in school, it's the teacher that said. So a lot of times convincing the child that, yeah, it was you who actually said, and because you're in school, we have to put a few guidelines to guide you as a team. Again, it's a balance we have to strike. Okay, but then other than just the plant you're taking and planting on the ground, we are learning the whole cycle. A child with learning difference that doesn't want to just listen to theories that you're telling them would want to see it. For example, why do we have plants? We keep them, we grow them so that they can give us food, they can give us shade, or they can be home to birds and insects and all that. For them, that's a bigger picture than just saying that we are planting trees in our school and making it beautiful, or we're just taking this plant. For a child who does not understand the hydrological cycle from the textbook, from a teacher standing in front of a class, would understand it better when you're explaining it as you plant a tree and explain how this, you wake up in the morning and there's dew on the leaves of this plant. So whether you're doing it at a school or at home, it's something that I find very helpful. And thankfully, we are talking about inclusive education here. And I don't know, it's my hope that the CBE, the competence-based curriculum, will bring this to reality, so that it makes it even easier for the rest of us that are trying to drive this change. Okay, so I've talked about a few things that we learn from this life skill. Okay, so basically, and that we have, like I said, the competition, I explained a bit about it. Okay, so there's of course discipline that is very important for students and for children and everybody else. And then we have debates, which again, we just are giving schools and parents and teachers the boost they need to be able to learn how to make this a way of boosting confidence in dyslexic students. So there's a few rules that we have come up with together with the students to make it a safe environment, to learn through doing, like I explained, to have peer mentorship, and also involve the community. And of course, in the long run, these are the goals that we hope to achieve. And it's something we can also learn from, to advocate for themselves, to build their confidence, navigate through daily challenges, turn their unique thinking into strength, and also find a main or a side hustle from this. Because like I said, agriculture is the backbone of the economy. When everybody is trying to be a pilot and a doctor and everything, we teach them that agronomists are making a lot of money. Agribusiness sells a lot of money. You realize later, but now we are telling you now. So I'm grateful to have gotten this opportunity, of course, to talk to you all. And to learn more about us, of course, you can visit our website and our social media website. And of course, I'm grateful and ready for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Koki. I'm personally very much impressed by your presentation. Actually, when you displayed the advanced gardening program, at first I only thought that whatever came as a product of that garden only is for subsistence. But when you indicated that you also sell the products, and then the financial management aspect comes in that way, I was really impressed. So thank you for a very nice and informative presentation. And I can now officially open the questions and answers session. So members, you can kindly put up your suggestions or questions. You can raise your hand, or you can put anything on the chat and I'll read it on your behalf. You're welcome, each and every one of you. Dr. Vincent up at some stage. Perhaps you'd love to contribute something. Dr. Vincent Karibu.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
So,
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. This is a good presentation that has been presented today by Koki, and it really touches the lives of the students with the specific learning difficulties, as well as those with the special educational needs, or those with the identified kind of challenges, or rather, we can use the old term disabilities. I was very much impressed because this is one of the programs that is well connected with the ASDAN. ASDAN is a program that it normally touches on the life skills, the independence towards the dependence and my independence. It's divided into three, where independence then my independence, then towards independence, where some schools can start with towards independence until where they reach where students are totally independent. So the three program being a part and parcel of some of the courses that are offered by us and some of the modules that students are supposed to cover. Maybe what you can just, I think I have to connect more with you so that I can give you more insight towards how best you can enrich the program more, and it can lead to certification of some of the students, if at all you're going to embrace the ASDAN. It might be something that might be a bit costly, but if it works well, it will be a unique school in the whole country, because it will be a kind of a model where it connects life skills as well as the challenges that the students have. So more insight needs to be done towards breaking it down. Maybe in the gardening, you break it down further. The way you have started, you take the seeds, plant them, but students have to show the evidence of what they're doing, which is fine because they're taking the tree, they're doing it at home. There's a connection between what is learned and the community. This is perfect because that is what learning is all about. Can the students transfer that knowledge which they're getting from the program or project at home? Is what they're learning or having at home transferable to what they're learning in school? If these two can be connected, then learning can really take place well. More so, students with specific learning difficulties, because they learn through the modalities, the kinesthetic. They see, when they see and they do it, kinetic, when they are visually seeing it, when they hear, when they touch, it really, the information gets stored well in the long-term memory. So this project is very, very good, and I really encourage that we can embrace it, and it can be a model that can also be shared in some of the, we should not only just based on national, but this is something that if it can be shared also international schools, some of the international schools, because I know they're struggling, they're really struggling to see how best some of their students can have enrichment programs. So international schools, such kind of programs are called enrichment programs because they enrich the student's ability. They build the self-esteem in that student, that as far as we are being given this to cover in class, but in one way or the other, we can still acquire some kind of knowledge towards life skills. So we are not only doing the life, but we are also learning. So the approaches of learning can come in. I've been very much impressed by this responsibility, patience, career guidance, development, and the stuff. Those are very essential learning skills that are normally in the ASDAN program. And that's why I've said, please, we can connect further and see how best how best can I share whatever I have was assisting in building some of those programs, because gardening is one of the modules that is provided, as I've said, in ASDAN. So, Koki, I don't know how we will, because you've just shared the Instagram and the website. So, I don't know how best we can get, or I can get, so that I can assist where I can in terms of the program and the stuff. So, thank you so much for this presentation. It was nice. It was nice.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vincent.
Thank you.
My phone number is also available.
My phone number is also available. My phone number is also available.
Cookie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm going to stop my sharing. Sape.
Hello. Yes. Okay, so I thought you were responding to Dr. Vincent. Are you done with that?
I think okay.
Vincent, no, sorry, Sape, I have unmuted myself if you. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we can hear you, Koki. So I think you catch up with Dr. Vincent because he now has your contacts. So
Thank you.
I'm glad to hear about the ASDAN program as well, Dr. Vincent. So thank you so much for shedding some light on that. So on the chat, do we have anything on the chat? Let me see. Of course, Cowdens was providing Koki's phone number. That is fine. Um, Guys, do we have any other contribution or question? Can we hear you? We have 19 minutes to time, so we can still put up some suggestions or thoughts. Paulette, can we please hear from you if you are close at your mic? Okay, I think probably Paulette is not close to her mic. Cowdens.
Yes, Nsate. Um, and Koki, I'm really impressed at your presentation. That's amazing, and I'm I'm very touched by what you're doing. And I'm thinking we should collaborate. Now we are doing a talent show gala on 1st of May 2026. We are in the planning stages. And I'm thinking if you have any children with different abilities who have these life skills that you have presented, who have gone through your program that you have presented, I would love them to come and showcase those skills so that other parents can also learn and the community at large. We are doing this to change the mindset of the community so that we show they might have challenges, but they can actually succeed. And it's important for the parents and the schools to give them a chance, like what Nemo Africa is doing. I'm really impressed, and I would love to collaborate in one way or another. Thank you so much. And I've learned something actually from your presentation this evening, how I wish we had more people in the platform, because what you have shared really is amazing. We all need it. Yeah, that's all I can say. And I see, because maybe schools are closing soon, teachers are very, very busy. Today we visited a school and teachers are all over the place trying to put things together. That's why our attendance somehow has gone down, because trying to finish up the work as they close schools this week. Some are even closing tomorrow. So, and Koki, next year you should be on the schedule again to share something with us on this platform. We normally have a bit more people, though we wish to have more than we do, considering we have a big platform of about 500 people now in the support group, but those who attend are few. But we are trying to do the best we can and download the items, the sessions, so that many more people can get to know. And just to share something that we are working on as an organization, maybe Koki, this might be important to you as well. So we are trying to introduce the assistive technology as an organization to students, to struggling learners. or differently abled learners. And we are working on how we can register students going up with a form. You will soon see it in our platform, and Koki or any other person who is not in our support group, please join. There are many opportunities which come there. And we are registering students who need to use assistive technology, particularly one that is very effective in mathematics and English. And these two subjects are foundational to education. So be on the lookout. We are sharing a form where students can, parents can register and get a license to use assistive technology in teaching their children. So that's just a quick announcement I had. Otherwise, I return the microphone back to you, Nsape.
Thank you very much, Cowdens. Do you have any other? Elizabeth Dinda, perhaps it's, if possible. Elizabeth. Okay, I can see probably Elizabeth is also not close to her microphone. So we were only 9, 8, 9. And I called on Paulette, Elizabeth. Okay, minutes to go. But anyone else who share or contribute anything. So perhaps based on our number, it's not a sin to finish earlier than 9. So I would like to take this opportunity to putting up some closing remarks. Yes.
Just so to mention something that next week Tuesday is 9th, and I'm thinking we might not have a session considering considering the situation in our country. Go. If the environment allows and we are all online, we will have a session, but I'm having a feeling we might not have a session on 9th, but we will communicate in our platform. Otherwise, have a good evening.
Hello, I'm very close to my phone. I was trying to see how to unmute. Device is hanging. I am very for Tanzania. Yes, please.
Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth.
Yep.
I think Elizabeth came through, but I was not getting her point very clear.
Hello?
Okay, so yes, Elizabeth, you're trying to say something. Okay, let me just take over. So, Kiko, Koki, I think I should just give you a minute or two to put up your final remarks or final words before I conclude the session. Koki.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think I was busy typing something, but I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for hosting me, or having me share what we do. I think one thing that I probably didn't share at the time was the opportunities that we're giving to students. We have a project that just completed. We are carrying three main programs. So other than Nemo Africa, we are also like providing an umbrella for other organizations that I work with, that I'm in the board or involved in otherwise. And one thing that we have in common here with dyslexia is the talent exploration part. And we give students with different talents opportunities to showcase their talents, and then we connect them directly to the people that are involved. So we have a music competition that happens every year for 25 years called the New Praise Festival. And it just ended. And we had 11 students participating from Tanzania through NEMO. Hopefully next year we start earlier. We start by giving the platforms locally. So that includes, of course, dyslexia, talent. If you have students that you would want to compete in the Meru's Got Talent, we sponsor that program. They'll do that in March. They'll do it again in around May and then August. They do 3 times a year. Proven now to like be able to compete globally and put them in the New Praise Festival list, and they compete globally. So this year the prize went to a Mexican piano player, fully from Tanzania, or a child from Tanzania, being the top, the one that scores the scholarship to study music. And that we can share this message even more, because they have actually the gift to be able to do things that even I have not been able to comprehend. So thank you very much, everybody. You can visit our website, and I think our social, considering other things that we are talking about that we've worked out, right? But thank you so very much, and hope to see you again in the next session, as you will be and not a panelist, or our guest speaker. So thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Koki. That was an amazing presentation, and keep it up.
Thank you, Gardens. Thank you very much.